Hello there guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I'll be bringing you a couple of battles. I'm going to actually record two of them into one video here, and basically these battles they're not like super exciting battles. At least the second one was pretty exciting. The first one here is not super exciting, it's decent enough. It was a 2v2 I did with my mate Biscuits, who was in the Heaven Clan, actually leader of Heaven Clan these days. And of course I'll link his channel here. He handles the 31k side of this game most of the time though. And our opponents were, as you can see, we're both the Edie-Julli Romans. And our opponents were, where are they? They're both Germania. This guy, Germany4Life, he was the host. And his ally was Edie. And they were both Germania. And they're fans of Germania. And but they were convinced that Germania could not defeat Rome if they were not, unless they reduced Rome from, let's say that Rome couldn't have urban cohorts and that sort of thing. So they offered us a battle here, and they thought, they said we couldn't have urban cohorts. I wouldn't have brought them anyway, but said we couldn't have them. They wanted to defeat us to try and get some wins with the Germania. But I'll also upload the secondary battle where we took Germania. And I'll demonstrate that because they were pretty certain that Germania just couldn't beat Rome, and I assure you it can. As you can see, many of you know I've actually got plenty of videos up on my channel where I've done so. But anyway, I'm playing, obviously, we're both playing the Julii. I think they also were the Julii. And my army consists of, still got the Aragorn skin pack mod on, so it's pretty awesome. I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of gold legionary cohorts. And I think it was 1, 2, 3, I think it was at least 4 units of archers. You should always get archers when you're facing Germania, because Germania has no armour, so it's very, very easy to do a lot of damage with arrows. You should always use archers and missile units against Germania if you can. And then of course I've got 5 Praetorian cavalry, gold. Most units silver gold rather. You don't even really need to use Praetorian cavalry. You can use legionary cavalry, but I wasn't sure to what extent these guys would use their berserkers, so I wanted to be sure I had some good cavalry to mix in. And pretty much Biscuits' build's almost identical to mine. The same amount of archers, the same upgrades, I believe. And he's got 6 legionary cohorts and 4 Praetorian cavalry. So very, very similar builds, just one difference in cav and infantry between us. Now the host, his army was, let's see, he has several chosen axemen that I can see, probably packing gold. Yeah, he's got some berserkers here that are heavily upgraded. He's got some chosen archers, 1, 2, 3, 4 chosen archers. I think it's at least 4. He's got a Gothic cav there as well, I can see. At least 4 chosen axemen. Now, this is a powerful-ish build, but it's not a build I would recommend for Germania in a 15k game like this. And I'll go into that a wee bit more later. Then the other fella has got, let's see, some Gothic cav, 2 Gothic cav, and then a Barbarian Chosen Warlord. I think they're all gold or silver gold. Then he's got 3 Knight Raiders on gold. And they're decent enough. They're decent enough, but they also break pretty easy if you're not careful. So I usually play more supporting roles when I use Knight Raiders, but I don't generally use them that much. I do think they're cool. When you go for a German scare army, they're very handy. Then he's got 2 chosen axemen, and they're on, looks to be gold. He's got 2 spear warband, they're on gold. And then 3 chosen arch warband on gold. And I can tell you right now that both of these 2 have done this wrong with Germania. They have gone and got way too many of these chosen archers. This unit it's an effective arch unit, don't get me wrong, it's a rather good arch unit, but it's an expensive arch unit. It's like 700 I think without any upgrades, and once you put gold onto it you can get it up around 1,000 or 900 or something. And it effectively chews into your funds a lot, like a great deal, and severely weakens the rest of your army. So if you look at this guy, very few cavalry, and if you look at the other guy, basically no cavalry. I don't even think he might have 1 cavalry. And that's not, it's not good, really. I mean, he's going to try and flame Biscuits here. Biscuits did retreat back here, and he did get a few of his guys in the back. And this won't really kill any of them, but it will do some damage to Biscuits' men's morale. So even though he's not killing any of them, the morale damage is dangerous. If he mixes this right with Germania, he could cause a chain rout. But against Biscuits that would be difficult because Biscuits is a very good player. So I think, if you're going to get this, make sure you use your archers correctly. It will do a bit of morale damage, but really Roman morale is very high. These legionary cohorts will not be easily broken unless they're outflanked and scared enough. So he's really just wasting arrows here. So Biscuits is just going to conserve. We'll just conserve at the moment. And I mean, this particular first fight not particularly exciting, nor was it very difficult. No offense to our opponents, but it's just part of the this battle. It's two battles in one where we kind of we'll be using Germania in the next battle. I'm going to link them in together, and basically I just want to demonstrate how you should and should not use Germania. I've quite a bit of experience with Germania. It's one of my favourite factions to use. It's not my favourite faction. The Julli are, in fact, my favourite faction. But I've gotten rather good with Germania, and I've got it down to I've gotten pretty decent at using them. So it seems he had 3 cavalry. They look to be sort of goldish by the looks of it. The skin pack gives them an axe, but don't let that to confuse you, because in the base game they don't have the axe, it's just the sword. So they don't have any armor piercing damage. If they did, they'd be quite powerful actually. It'd be quite cool that'd be very powerful if they had an axe. So as you can see, Biscuits is not really taking much damage, and he will be chewing through these arrows pretty quickly, so this is pretty wasteful really. What he should be doing is using his longer ranges to force Biscuits to either withdraw or force him into a position that he wants Biscuits to go into. Which wouldn't be very easy to do anyway. But I'm just going to triple at this stage. Biscuits moves his cav out into this area. Mostly he's just going to get rid of the German cav. And I sent, I believe it was 2 of my cav just to help force them away. However, I'm probably putting myself, I was putting myself into arrow range there, so I do get 1 or 2 shots in the flank there on me, so I do quickly withdraw from that. But ultimately, I decide to advance up here. I do make a slight error in leaving my cav behind a little too long, but I do eventually get them up there as well. As you can see, I just a slight error, like it's just I was a little bit too slow there. And accidentally because of the night battle, I still had them on flaming arrows. However, I decided to just kind of let him come in here, and I can turn my archers around to shoot at him, and I decided to take this fight. However, he does do quite well because he's got all this archer support coming into the fight, so you could always be careful at that. My Praetorian cav is a lot better than his Gothic cavalry, but he's got a lot of archer fire supporting it, so it's why it's kind of even. So I decided to send another one and just to quickly end it, to be honest. At this stage, I want to regroup my archers there. I guess I was still on skirmish mode. And I rout that end anyway, so I can afford to lose that cavalry. He simply can't, so it's not drastic. I decided to push a bit here, force his archers back a bit, give my archers a chance to go up unopposed, and maybe try and catch some of his archers out, if possible. I can at least force them back. At this stage, though, I realise I'm not going to get near them. And he's still running back, so I should be able to get them away without any damage in trees. Over here, Biscuits is got his cav here, and the German player sends his cav out, and again, you just don't want to do this kind of thing. You're not going to defeat Praetorian cavalry without supporting it with archers or other units. So he's charging straight at Biscuits. Biscuits is going to charge him back, and no doubt he'll completely, he's going to encircle him, basically just the way that went. Flaming arrows coming in, and this German cav will rout very quickly under this kind of harassment. Here he sets he just charges his chosen axeman in. Again, extremely poor use of a very effective anti-Roman unit. Same here with his berserker, he set it off far too early. So, let's just watch this peeler go off in a moment. Okay, maybe he forgot the peeler, very un-Biscuits-like. But it doesn't matter. Look at this. This is just an absolutely. I mean, I assume he's a very inexperienced player because this is just a very poor use. And now he puts the peeler on, I think. Yep. And between peeler and archers, this whole German horde is just going to get nowhere. even against the Legionary cohort, which should easily be able to destroy if it can get into it unopposed, but it just gets destroyed. Over here this Berserker stopped going, but it's shaken, and it's not berserking anymore, and I can just kill it with Cav. So just like that. So look at chain route, mass chain route, and the Cav comes along, and that is his opponent completely and utterly destroyed. This is exactly how you should never use Germania, ever, because it's simply, don't even let yourself get clustered up like that, and you must shield those chosen axemen from arrows and peeler, because you're just going to lose. So my opponent charges me here, and he does exactly the same mistake. I just turn my peeler on, and I mean, look at these guys, they just fall like flies. A whole lot of them will, that they get under peeler fire. Look at that, see, they just get, like, he loses like 20 minutes. Look at that, they just instantly chain route as soon as they touch my line. This is how you should never, ever use Germania. You must not let them take these kind of missile damage, ever, because they will just rout. You're not optimizing their strength. And this is precisely how many newish players to Germania use them. When you use Germania, you have to attack, because they're an attacking, aggressive faction. If you play defensively with Germania, you're playing into their weaknesses. Play their strength, attack, but you must look after them from missile units, or this is what will happen. In both cases, they just got chain routed. And I can assure you that those chosen axemen can easily maul Legionary cohort. They can maul Urban cohort if you do it right. So just pop a bunch of peeler into them, and that you just completely routes. Unsupported, the spear warband will completely chain route as well. So, you know, the point is, guys, you've got to use Germania. You've got to use it aggressively, but you've got to look after it from missile fire. So I wanted to demonstrate in this video what you should not do when you use Germania, because this, you know, Rome will defeat Germania straight up in a conventional fight. You have to use things like flanking and supporting actions on in certain areas of the fight to get that edge. So as you can see, both me and Biscuits, 641 for me, 662 for him, so very close. They got very little kills, got destroyed very easy. We still have most of our armies remaining. There's the statistics, I believe. Which one of the Biscuits on top, the top one here, and this is mine on here. So my Praetorian Cav, a lot of kills. The Roman archers, you can see his Roman archers. I mean, they just make the difference, and very poor coordinated attack by them. You know, and they were on the Germania's German grassland, was German, you know, the map, Germanian or Norse Woodlands or something, I forget what it's called. So you can work effectively on this map with Germania. So this is a video on how not to use Germania. So I hope you enjoyed this part of it, guys. Now we're going to fight the same guys. I'm just going to upload it. I'm going to load it up now. We'll be fighting the same guys, but we'll have Germania and they will have, where is it now? Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. They will have, we'll have Germania and they will have, there we go, 62. They will have Rome. And if you're wondering about that, I had the SBQR mod here, so on here once before, and for some reason the backgrounds still look like the SBQR thing. I don't mind it actually, they're quite cool backgrounds. So anyway, okay, so I'm using my typical Germania build, and Biscuits has got a similar build, but slightly more varied for whatever uses he has. And we've gone on the Gallic Flatlands. I always get that Gallic Grass. I always get them muddled now. I know the map, you know, it's the Gallic Plains map, something or other. Gallic something anyway. I forget the top of them. I know that all the maps off by heart on Rome Total War, but sometimes I get their names muddled. Right, so if we look at my build, typical build, I've got 2 units of Skirmisher Warband solely to protect me from peeler. Then I've got 3 units of Spear Warband, and they've got no gaps in their lines. You must condense them into no gaps so that the Roman infantry doesn't squeeze through them. I have 2 Berserkers, however, Berserkers are very powerful. As long as you protect them with missiles, I don't really think you need to upgrade them, so I never do, so I can save money. And I've got 4 Gothic Cav with gold, and then I have 5 chosen axemen, and they got gold attack and 1 experience. I usually just go for attacking upgrades, because defensively they're just not good. They're extremely good on the attack and their armor piercing, so when you use them in that fashion you'll do really well. So Biscuits build, he's got, let's see, he's got some Berserkers as well. He's got 2 that he has upgraded his. I usually don't, because I think it consumes money that you don't need to be consuming, because they're already powerful enough. He's got some War Dogs. That can be good for scaring. That's probably what he's going for. And then he's got 4 Gothic cav. He's going for wedge formation. I'm not going for wedge formation because I'm not going to try slicing into the Roman lines. And I find that if you get into a cav fight, wedge is good for the charge, but in the melee, and when you try and move them into the wedge, it's not always great. Up front, then he's got the Chosen Axemen. They've got probably the same upgrades as mine, so he's got 6 of those, and he's got 2 Skirmisher Warband as his meat shield. The difference here is I put mine left mine in tight formation, so they don't cover as much area. They cover just enough, but because they're denser, they'll consume more of the peeler. So we just walk up steady. Our opponent's armies. I'll just pause it quickly. Now to illustrate our point, we said to them that they could use urban cohorts. So he's got 1 gold urban. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 gold Praetorian cohorts on my side, and then another urban cohort. So they have much stronger infantry than we had. Then they got Archer Auxilia. I believe my opponent's got Archer Auxilia. He's got 6 of them, and I think they've got at least a couple upgrades each. And then he's got 2 Praetorian cavalry on gold. The archers are a good choice. However, Archer Auxilia is probably really not necessary. Just normal archers will be fine, because Germania's archers are really expensive. The standard archers are more practical because you don't just cost as much, spend as much money. Biscuits' opponent, he's got some Triarii on the roof, on 2 Triarii on gold. He's got 1, 2, 3 urban cohort on gold, 4 urban cohort on gold. He's got 3 Praetorian cav on gold, and then a bunch of Roman archers probably on gold for several of them, or silver or something like that. He's probably got 1, 2, he's probably got about 5 of them. They've also got slightly higher ground, and we're going to attack. Now, I can't emphasise this enough, guys. When you use Germania, you simply must attack. But you must not attack hasted. You've got to time it right. They're quite effective in team battles if you've got a good, like for instance, you can mix them in with factions like Armenia or Parthia, or Rome for that matter. You can use, if you mix them in with factions that are covering areas of strength that Germania doesn't have, like some of them will be strong where areas Germania is weak, while Germania is strong in areas they are weak, so you can be quite a good supporting faction. So always the thing to note with this map is this particular piece of land can always be used as a flanking anchor to your flanks, so that can be quite handy. They probably should have used that actually. So once you get into archer range, me and Biscuits were going to run. You should always, you should absolutely go full steam ahead, run, and don't. I stopped a little bit there because of sloppy micro, but keep going, keep running. So Biscuits is going to get into his attack first. I don't even think his opponent turned the peeler on. However, Biscuits is still going directly out the front with him. I don't like to do that at the Chosen Axeman, and because he does it this way, it's still going to work because he's shielded it well. But he's going to take more damage. He goes for the war cry, but my method is a bit different. I charge these spear warband up the centre to fix a lot of the Roman infantry. They can hold. They won't win them, but they will hold. He throws his peeler. The meat shield absorbs most of it. The archers actually serve to be a bit of a nuisance here, but as you can see, this is what you do. You put your cav around the flank and your Chosen Axeman around the flank. I can hold this in place with my spear warband. The skirmishers did their bit. They hold it in place. The Praetorian cavalry is superior. However, I can surround it here because I got more of it, and you toss the berserkers into the cavalry fight because the berserkers will destroy the Praetorian cav, and you'll still have plenty of your own cav left. At this rate, he does throw some peeler into the back of my cav there, which I actually didn't spot. As you can see, it's going well for Biscuits, but the cavalry is always a problem. If you don't, he's using the berserkers against the infantry, but if you don't use the berserkers against the cavalry, the cav often destroys you. It's the cav that's the problem. So as you can see, I'm fixing all these Roman infantry, and this enables my Chosen Axeman to go completely around behind him. And as you can see, these units are effectively able to hold these guys in place. They won't defeat them by any stretch, but they can hold them and allow your Chosen Axeman to get a flank charge, and you have no idea how effective a flank charge with Chosen Axeman can be against Roman infantry. As you can see, these urban cohorts rout, these Praetorians are getting mauled to death, and now he's breaking up and he's pincered in. My cavalry is able to roam free because the berserkers were able to destroy his cavalry. I was able to rip up all his archers here, and it's easy peasy work for my cav to get rid of his archers unopposed. Biscuits is he's being able to win here, but because he had so much trouble with the cav, he's taken a lot more losses than me. So his method works, it definitely works, but I personally find the method of using your berserkers to help the cavalry fight, so you still have plenty of cav left, and using spear warband to fix the front of the lines allows you so much more rain to protect yourself from archers and to take far less losses. So Biscuits still does a great job. He had some screeching women in there, I didn't notice that before. That's going for the scare effect. But at this stage I come in to help get rid of these archers for him. But as you can see, my opponent is already destroyed quite easily, and that has effectively enables my guys to remain, in the fight fairly easily. So I have still large numbers of my men left, and this is exactly how you should use Germania. You can use it very aggressively, but you should always aim to look to make sure you guys don't take missile damage. You get onto the flanks, and you support that cavalry fight with your berserkers. Now, if you're fighting a faction where your Gothic cav can match the cavalry alone, then you can use the berserkers in the infantry fight. But I always advise using the berserkers in the cavalry fight, because honestly they will tear through any cavalry, even cataphracts. So as long as it's supported with the Gothic cav, if they charge on their own they'll take losses. But if you support that fight with cavalry, with the berserkers and cavalry together, they'll do so well, and that leaves your chosen axemen to just go smashing straight into the back of any fixed infantry. And believe me, the armor piercing chosen axemen to the back of even urban cohorts or Spartans or anything, as long as they get into the flank, they're going to rip them to pieces. So you need to use supporting tactics. You need to make sure you don't take a lot of missile damage, because if you take missile damage, you're just going to lose your German troops, as demonstrated in that first fight. But if you protect yourself from missiles, if you don't muck around, if you get on with the attack, you fix the enemy infantry line, you can easily destroy your opponent very easily. As you can see, I only lost about 400 men, whereas Biscuits, he still won, and with kills very reminiscent, similar to my own. He took twice as many casualties as me, simply because he received more missile damage, basically, and because the Praetorian cav can destroy the Gothic cav, as long as you fix with the spear band and get behind them with the chosen axemen, you will destroy Roman infantry, even urban cohorts. So that means you can leave your berserkers to the cavalry fight, and that will make a massive difference on that cavalry fight. So while Biscuits' method works, it's more costly than my method. And I'm not saying my method's perfect. I've had a lot of experience with it. I've used it loads of times. The build I've specifically created to kill Rome. It will work against other factions, but it works extremely well against Rome. Basically, it was a build I created out of my rage of urban cohorts in the early days, and it's always worked really well. So great game to Biscuits and Germany4Life and Edie. If they ever watch this, guys, nothing like if you at any time at any point in this video it sounded like I was saying you were not very good or anything. That's not what I mean. It's not what I was trying to get at. I was just saying that there's very specific ways to use Germania, and the way you used them, wasn't ideal. So maybe, in future, if you see this video, or anyone who sees this video and has been having trouble with Germania, this always works really, really well. So if we look at these kills, as you can see, I believe, again, this is Biscuits up here, and my guys are down here. So his chosen axeman did very well, as did his berserkers, and his warhounds not so great, but probably more of a scare. You can see the Gothic cav here, apart from this one, very ineffective, whereas you look at my Gothic cav, 103, 150, 52, they did a lot better because they didn't take so much damage. And you can see my chosen axeman, plenty of damage, and even the spear warband, 70 and 71. So that unit, as long as it's well shielded and there's no gaps in its line, doesn't rout as fast as you'd think it would. The berserkers always play support roles. So again, guys, just when you use Germania, the things to remember are: be aggressive, because Germania is no good at being defensive. Shield your men from archers and peeler, because if you don't, you will lose. And support, and go for flanking and things like that. Use the war cry if you've got time, but don't use the war cry if it compromises you in other areas. For instance, if you use war cry but leaves you sitting still taking missile damage, it's not really worth it. So make sure you time that right. But anyway, great game to Biscuits. I will link his channel. Be sure to check it out, guys. And good games to Germania4Life and Edie. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Hope it helps you German fans. They're an awesome faction. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon next time.